Hello.
Look who showed up, everybody. Hey, if it's Wednesday, and look, I'm on the wrong side of the table.
I know, but what do you mean, look who showed up?
Well,
I was here for the test.
I know, but someone who will not be named was not here for the test.
Yes.
And you know what? I totally ratted Janice out, you guys. She was trying to cover for me, but I was actually catching up on some work for our bead retreat.
Yeah,
so I
that's
just
gonna be so
shoved
fun.
Janice right out here in front of the camera. So thank you for
Yeah.
taking that test. Let me turn around
You're
a little
welcome.
bit.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here.
It's great to have you here in California.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm always sitting there moderating, typing away in my little Virginia apartment, and now here I am
here
live.
you are. Well, it's
exciting.
It's great, as always, Janice, to
Yeah.
have you back. And we are going to have a great day with our O Peyote project. And as always, you guys, let me do my little litany before we get started. As always, welcome to Facebook Live, here for beadshop.com. I'm Kate Richburg. And here's the returning Janice Parsons. It's great to have you because Janice is out for our bead retreat that we're going to be doing this weekend, which is great. We're going to be welcoming 24 of our wonderful bead retreaters. It's going to be really fun.
We wish you could all come.
I know, but we're working on
working on
expanding
an
our
East
retreat,
Coast one. Yes,
our retreat
we're working
empire
on another one
for sure. And just as a reminder, I know a lot of you are new who are watching, so you can always watch us right here live every Wednesday at 10:30 and Friday at 10:30 Pacific time. So we can we do our free tip Fridays and our Facebook Lives, and you can watch us a little later on our YouTube channel, beadshop.com. If you haven't followed our YouTube channel, you guys, follow the YouTube channel, because you will get a notification in your email box whenever we post a video that has a link that goes directly to the video, so you don't have to kind of scramble around to find it. Also, you can find it right on our website, beadshop.com. If you go to our Facebook Live page, Karen links all of the broadcasts in each project page, so they're all there for you. So we love it when you go back and watch our old broadcasts, which is great. And I can see, look, so many people have jumped on and said hello. It's great to have you. We have our wonderful Gita across the miles in Denmark. She is moderating and posting as beadshop.com. So I know that you guys are usually Janice is on the other side of the computer and doing some moderating.
Chatting and chewing.
So we're going to do some multitasking. I'm going to do some moderating and stuff as well. And I know that some of you are watching on the Kate Richburg Jewelry Educator page, so I'm going to pull that up as well to say hello to you guys over there. It's great to have you guys also. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll pull up those comments in just a second.
I love Jewelry Educator.
A jewelry educator. You know,
Yes,
not just an instructor.
No.
I wanted to make myself
No.
sound fancier.
Well,
'Cause I'm
educate
fancy.
is really a better, more inclusive verb, active verb than instruct.
Yeah.
You educate. It's,
And it was kind of, it's my calling, really.
Yeah, it is
you
your
know?
calling.
It
It
is.
is your calling.
And Janice, I wanted to say we have so many people saying hello. And we also, I know Jenny's on the other side of the camera as well as Myra. Brandwin was back this morning and was scrambling to help the ladies compose their shots, so we totally thank Verandawin for all that as well. But as always, we're doing a little cross-training here. So Jenny, you had a couple of shout-outs. People are like, who's this Jenny person? She's new to me.
Yeah.
So Jenny is our newest beadshop.com member. And Jenny, you spell Jenny in kind of a fancy way.
Yes.
It's G-H-E-N-E-E. Because she's fancy. Jenny. So we're so glad to have you here with us on the other side of the camera taking photos. And of course, our Myra, you did such a fantastic job last week that she's continuing to train on the camera.
Amazing.
So we are so fortunate that we have such a solid and wonderful team. Talent.
Like, absolutely talented.
We also wanted to give a quick shout out to to everybody. Everybody's watching from all over.
Yeah.
And we want to give a quick shout out and all good thoughts going out to you guys who are in the path of Hurricane Florence. We're knocking wood for you.
know.
Janice, you know, you're in Virginia usually, so.
But I still got notifications to take everything off the patio, bring all the furniture in. I hope the path of this hurricane is short, but if you're anywhere near it, turn off Facebook Live now.
and go.
Get the kids and the pets
and
in
get
the
out
car.
of town. Yeah.
Check on your neighbors. Do they need a ride? And just get the heck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least until Saturday or Sunday. And
we really want you to be safe.
please, please. And we hope that everything, really my heart, because we just spent a week at the beach in Maryland and that whole beautiful coast, the Assateague Island with the wild horses.
Oh, that's right. You sent me pictures of those horses.
I hope, we hope and
Beautiful.
pray that everything is
going well.
is going to be better than they predict, and
Yeah.
that you're all safe and your homes are safe and you are safe.
Yeah.
So
And last year, you know, at this time when we were having our bead retreat, the week of the bead retreat, the other big hurricane came through, the one that hit Puerto Rico and Florida. Was that Maria?
yes, Maria.
Yep. So it seems like it's hurricane season again.
Yes.
So everybody safe. Drea is not really in the path, but she's in a high flood zone, but Drea's taken all of her precautions as well. So don't worry. We will keep you guys updated about how our staff is who are affected by the hurricanes. And do let us know. You guys give us a shout out and let us know that you're okay. So it is
Wednesday, September 12th.
It is Wednesday, September 12th.
It's almost your birthday.
It is. The big 5-2.
Oh, unbelievable. I can't believe. No, you just turned 40
I
just
know,
the other day.
just the other day.
You don't look a day over 40.
A day over 40.
You don't.
A day over 35.
A
Tell me
day
again.
over
A day over
25.
32. Come on, keep it going down. So yes, so that's it's always a fun celebration. We're gonna be at the bead retreat on Monday for my birthday, and then we're going down to the bead museum. So we'll be taking you guys along with us all weekend. We are gonna bring the camera. We're gonna bring all the equipment, and we're gonna be broadcasting from the bead retreat and from the bead museum and all kinds of good stuff. So we'll make sure that you guys come along with us as well. So it is great. It's great to have everybody here. So let's jump in.
Sure.
A couple people asked about my necklace, so we're going to talk about that at the end of the broadcast. We're going to talk about this. And, oh, you guys, thanks for all of those kind wishes already. I like to think this is my birthday week, so yes, bring it on.
It's your birthday month.
It is, September. Who knew?
Yeah, that's what
Those
Ashley
Virgos.
says.
Yeah, well, she's right.
That's right.
She's
and
right.
speaking of Ashley, if I have to just suddenly, in the middle of a bead stitch, get up and take a text, it's because today I'm closing on my condo.
Yes,
And
Janice
Ashley is signing for me as we speak.
As we speak. So
And
Janice is really moved back east.
Right, and then they may say, oh, where's this paperwork? So I might have to, but
It's the joys of going live, you guys.
I know,
It
but
is. It is.
it's exciting. So
It is.
I'm definitely committed to the East Coast
You are.
now,
You're
and
an
we're
East
going to
Coaster.
have a retreat there. We're going to
Yeah,
have
it's gonna be fun.
get-togethers, and
I'm going to get rid of your link.
yes, oh,
There we go.
I know.
Always
I
the
should have
customer.
ironed.
No, you look fantastic.
Okay,
Well, let's move that camera, you guys, and get this.
I'm just gonna. I see my hair's a little
No,
lopsided.
no, your hair looks
Okay.
great. We look amazing. Who looks amazing? Us.
Okay.
So let's swing our arm over as Myra hands us the camera. We're getting this down to a science, you guys, right? And I'll take the camera there. Perfect. And we just gently bring it here and hope that we don't kind of scoot things down too much. And I think this needs to be a little, yeah, that looks good. And I'm going to put this in, if I can see it, and I'm going to tighten this in. Oops. Sorry, you guys. Let me see if I can get that in there. There we go. I think that's good to go. Look at us.
We totally
And
rock. I wanna
Myra,
move
let's
this in.
pull this down. We're going to pull that down just a little bit, and I think we can actually embiggen that just a little bit there.
I'm gonna move
And I think
this.
we look even. Do we look okay? And Jenny, let's adjust those louvers so we've got a little more light going on what we're doing. What do you think, Brandwin? How are we looking? We're looking, Brandwin's fixing. We're looking okay? I think we're looking all right. Alrighty. Hurrah. I love this part. So, let's jump in. So Janice, you did, and Myra will follow you because this has a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
So don't you worry. So let's talk about this project. O Peyote.
O Peyote.
Oh my goodness.
This is
Oh, how exciting.
This is O Peyote for dummies.
Oh, the puns could go on and on.
Because I honestly have not done peyote stitch in 25 years. When we had the store in Palo Alto, I took a peyote, a 2 or 3 drop peyote class, and in the middle of the class, I asked, I'm brain freezing on the instructor, the educator. I asked her, okay, will you finish it for me? I never finished the pouch.
Right.
And so after you and Emily have done so many peyote stitches, I was in my place in Virginia, and I said, and this is when I got the O beads in, when we were just writing the copy on the O beads. And I said, I wonder if you can peyote stitch with those O beads.
Yeah.
So I went on the internet to see, well, I
There
don't
must be a
want to be
tutorial.
the first person that does,
Right, does it?
peyote
Right.
stitch with O beads. I searched and I searched, and maybe someone out there will go, oh yeah, I've done peyote stitch with O beads. This is what I did with it. But I have not. I can't find anyone who did it. And as soon as I started, so with this
Let's
project,
get in a little tighter, Myra, if we can, on just these 3.
so with this project, I'll get the little
Your pointer.
I started with, oh, let me practice my peyote, and I did. This is the first one I did, and I mean, if we look really closely, we'll find lots of mistakes. But this is just inspiring because you can make mistakes and no one will really see it unless they get up close. So I did a bit of peyote just with 11/aughts, and it was like a flat little piece.
Right, it's this part here.
Yeah, and then it gets folded over at the end to make this tube.
Right.
And then I said, oh, I'm going to add some O beads to it.
Time for O beads.
Time for O beads. And then you do it just like you would do peyote. Add a few, drop a few, add a few, drop a few. And I loved how this looked.
Yeah, the texture of it is fantastic.
I wanted to make a cuff.
I think a cuff would be amazing in this style.
Yes.
And the thing is, Janice, you used to make this project go by quickly, and those of you who are more well-versed in the art of peyote, you guys can see that this is a 2-drop peyote.
Yes.
So Janice is acting like these 2 beads are actually
right.
1, right?
Right.
So, and you can see Janice has done all kinds of different things with these pieces.
With the same thing.
This was that first one you did. You started with the 2-drop
Right.
up here. You added the O beads in, and then you finished. You just peyote stitched those drops in, right?
I did, yeah. And you know, of course, I didn't do a great job.
I think they look great.
I'm sure everyone will do a better job than I did. I got better at it as then I went to this one.
This was the second one you did.
Yeah, and I did on a drop, off a drop, on a drop, off a drop. Whatever space you have,
that's
what you fill it. If you can fit 2 in, so like the O beads are not all the same thickness. So the first one, which is the Vitral Peridot Matte, they're so thin you can fit 3 little O beads in. The copper, which have the coating on them, you can only fit 2 beads between.
Right.
So you just work it
Just
out.
kind of make it up, yeah. You know,
You
it's
literally make it up.
literally
I made it up.
off the cuff.
And then I said, well, how other ways can I use the O beads? And I love the O bead on the leather. I love that this becomes this wonderful sort of neck piece. the way it is with the O beads on the 1.0 leather.
And people are commenting, Janice, how it kind of looks almost like a textile weave.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool.
Yes. Right? And then I said, okay, now let me see. I want to see what it looks like on the suede. And so this is that wonderful deerskin from Nunn Design.
The deerskin lace.
I love that, the 5 millimeter. And then I said, okay, I want to see it on my favorite chain, which is the wheat chain. And then I said, I can't, even though Karen says only do 2 samples, I had to do 3 samples. I'm sorry, Karen. And I wanted to see, well, let's see what it looks like on chain. So the idea is not for you to go, okay, I want to copy that one, but to be able, which you could if you want, but to say, oh, I like how it looks with chain. I like how it looks with leather. So I used several different techniques that we can give an overview with, so that you can say, oh, this was done with the. Should I move this down?
No, you're good. We've got you.
Well, you can do this with a silk wrap. You can do this with.
Here, let's make this. Let's get this a kind of a fuller shot, Myra, so we can get all of these guys in here.
There's so many different things you can do. So,
and again, we used. This is strung on the seafoam, the 1.0 leather, and that fits perfectly in the O bead.
Right.
Especially like you were saying, Janice, these that aren't coated has kind of a bigger hole. It's a little bit of a thinner O bead. Then this one here, like you said, with the wheat chain, you just needed to make the fold over for the wheat chain to accommodate that chain. And then the fold over you can see for this one that has the deerskin lace, you can see how this one lays a little flatter because, again, we had to make it larger, but it's not filled with the roundness of that chain. So even what you choose to string it on is going to make a little bit of a difference. Now, before we get started, Janice, with your peyote stitching, I want to talk a little bit about the wonder of the O beads. Right? So I want to get this little cup. You pour some of yours out there.
Okay.
I'm going to pour some of mine out here. And I want everybody to understand what O beads are. Because when you said, Janice, oh, we're getting these O beads, and I'm like, what are these? What are these so-called O beads? What are these all about?
Well, everyone was telling me, oh, you've got to carry O beads. They're, everybody from the Beadsmith, which is where we started with them. Oh, you need to carry them. They're the hottest sellers. I'm going,
can we get a few more
O beads. Oh,
I'd love to get a couple from
Heineck.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Heineck and the Czech Republic.
Yeah, because we're getting some directly from the Czech Republic too, which is awesome.
In fact, he emailed me this morning and said, hey, where are you? We
how's
haven't
it
heard
going?
from you. And I said, oh, I've been traveling.
Look at these crystal French rose. So the way that depending on the O beads that you order, you guys, they're either going to come in a tube like this or in a baggie like this. The ones in the baggies, you guys, are going to be directly from the Czech Republic. They come over directly from Czech. And the coatings are very unique, very interesting. Look at that cerulean blue. This one here that we're working with, this is the copper. This one here, Janice,
jet chrome,
is
jet chrome.
full jet chrome. And then our last one over here
is Vitrel Matte
Vitrel Matte AB. Right? Beautiful. And you can see on some of the matted one, like this matted one, the vitriol is on one side, and then it's the clear the glass on the other, so it's kind of a two-sided.
Can I explain a little bit about how they do this?
Yeah, I would. I think everyone would like to know.
When the title begins with crystal in any of the O beads, it means they start with a clear crystal bead. Then what they do is they put them like on a tray, a big tray for putting the coating on. And the coating, in the case of this Vitrel Matte AB, the coating, which is the Vitrel AB, is put on one side, and it's vacuum sealed to just one side of the bead, not both sides. And so what you get is you get on the back side, which is the crystal side, you see the green of the vitral AB showing through to the back, and then they mat it. In the case of the jet chrome, that means this is full jet chrome, I believe. It's a jet bead, which is then a chrome coating is put on both sides.
On top of it, both sides.
And then this one is a crystal with a cerulean blue. This one comes from Heineck. And this one is the coating is done on both sides.
On both sides.
And then it's vacuum sealed.
They're really beautiful. And the difference, someone was asking about the difference between these and demi-rounds. So demi-rounds are made by Toho, which are Japanese. And they're a very similar bead. These, all of these O beads that we're carrying, these originate in the Czech Republic. So this is a Czech glass bead. So that's the difference. It's the company of origin. And yes, Heineck is our manufacturer in the Czech Republic. And when you get the bags of beads like these, those are directly from the Czech Republic. And the ones here, the O beads in the tubes, these we have are imported and they're sold stateside. So there's a little bit of a coating difference, but it's so fun to give you the wide variety of the coatings.
Right. And now what we have not shown is more of the beads that have the two-sided coating like the Super Duos do, so that depending on how you string it, you get either some are very distinct. Cara, would you mind grabbing maybe one or two more of the O beads that were their AB, and you really can see that there's like two sides. These are more, we're showing the solids.
Rosie was asking if the demi-rounds, if they're interchangeable. And you know what? I'll be honest. Let's see, the whole size of a demi-round is a 0.7 millimeter. And the whole size on these O beads, I'm going to look it up, you guys, real quick, while Janice is talking about those. Thanks, Cara. There's a few more.
Okay, so
I'll get the
this is
answer to
a
that.
good example. This is the Crystal Graphite Rainbow, and I'm going to pour this one out. And because it's not matted, maybe we can see it a little better. Look how pretty that is.
I think the inside hole diameter of these O beads might be a little bit larger.
What do we have it
The
as? 'Cause I
O beads,
tested.
the O beads, they measure 3.8 by 1 millimeter. So if I get out my trusty millimeter gauge, and then you guys can have this knowledge and figure it out if it works against the demi round. So let me zero this. And again, it also depends on the coating. Like this one that's coated is a little bit bigger. They're a little different. So this one is 3.9 millimeters because of the coating. And then if I turn it on its side, if I capture it right there, it's 1.1 millimeters. So the coating does add a slight bit of size to it. And sometimes when you're trying to do something delicate, like peyote with it, or depending on the size, sometimes that'll make a little bit of a difference.
Right, and then the hole diameter is 1.2?
We have 1.2.
So this is a bigger hole.
Bigger hole.
So that's why this can fit on the leather.
That 1
and,
millimeter leather.
And the demi rounds may not.
But we'd love to hear your feedback if anybody has them.
Dorothy asked if the coating wears off.
Really great question, Dorothy.
It can, and I spoke with all of the manufacturers. That's why I think our product copy says don't expose to chemicals or fragrance, because it's a coating. It's not the color of the glass, and that's what an issue is. And it's applied on top of the glass. It should give you years and years of wear, but if you spray fragrance on, if you are making wrap bracelets and you're always getting your hands wet, washing your hands, etc., so it can come off.
Yeah, and I think also, Janice, it depends on the type of coating that it is, too.
Yes.
We're kind of testing these and wearing them. It's a fairly new bead that's out. But like any Czech glass bead that we carry, this same type of coating, most of the coatings are pretty stable.
Yes.
But once in a while, you do get a coating that just isn't quite as stable.
Or a batch in a coating. We've had that happen.
Yeah, so you really do want to make sure, you know, sometimes if you test it, or, you know, when we're always testing out a bead, we make a little bracelet of it, wear it for a week 24/7 in the shower and, you know,
Right.
in the sun and all of that kind of stuff. And you can kind of quality control it. But for the most part, we have found that these are fairly stable. Fairly stable.
Yeah, I mean, I've been wearing some things with the O beads, and I haven't had any issues. But the manufacturer will say it's possible because it's a coated bead that chemicals, detergents, you know, excessive sunlight. So none of those are good for any of
for
the
any
check
of your
coated
friends, any of your
so,
beads.
yeah.
Well, let's get down to the peyote
Okay.
stitching, shall we?
Okay.
And I'm going to have a little diagram here that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about 2-drop peyote stitch.
Yeah.
Now, the way that, you know, and again, people were saying that these O beads make great spacers. I agree.
They're fabulous.
Anytime you might use a daisy spacer or tiarahishi or anything like that, this is a great substitute for it. And it'll add just a little tiny bit of color to your piece.
Yes.
So let's look at the samples while those are kind
Okay.
of going. Then we can also just kind of push these to the side here because I'm going to be using those. And let's see. Let's clean our
Yeah,
clean our
thought I'd
mess
clean
a little
off.
bit, right?
Yep.
There we go. Our bead table's starting to look messy.
Well, that you
That
know.
means
Julia
it's time.
Childs.
That's right.
JP's in the house.
It's time for
I
creativity.
am such a slob, a bead slob.
Well, I don't think you're alone.
But
in
I
that,
think I
Janice.
make kind of good, tasty dishes.
It is very true.
So,
And it looks like Gita did her fast fingers on the internet, did a quick search, and she said demi rounds are 2.2 millimeter by 0.9, and O beads are a little larger, 3.8 by 1. So demi rounds are a little smaller, like we talked about earlier. So you can see the samples here, you guys, and people were asking about the samples, and just to show them one more time. So the O beads, you guys, when we peyote stitch with them, they make kind of this fabric. You can see the side view here. They make kind of an interesting, like people were remarking, a kind of a textile fabric. They're really, really cool. So do you want to talk, Janice, about how you started this 2-drop?
yes, yes.
Should we get
Let
on
me
that?
just get this
Just
out
slide
of the way.
slide those over.
Okay, get this out of the way.
And you're going to for demonstration purposes,
Yeah, I'm
you
using.
are going to use some big beads to start,
and
right?
I just got some. I just have some. Is
Some
this
6/0.
Is this right in the picture? What do you
Let's see.
think?
Let's move them up a little bit. Let's see where we are, Myra. There we go.
Okay, and I have my little stopper
And
bead.
let's get a little closer, a little
Okay.
more towards me, JP.
Okay, so now I know you and Emily always use like a single thread.
Not always, but
well,
yeah.
you're pretty much a single
Sometimes.
thread. You know, I'm like double. I want some body. So I'm and I'm using here a sharp because I'm
I like
showing
sharps.
you in a sharp 10. I'm using the larger micro Ceylon instead of KO.
So you can see it.
With the bigger beads. So it's a little tiny needle. So I'm pulling this stopper bead on, I'm pulling it down all the way to the end, and I'm just using a different color, and then I'm going back through. Now that's where it's pretty much everything you and Emily do, and then it stops. And then I start.
And then you go rogue.
And then I go off the reservation. I start with a stopper bead. Let me just pull that down. I don't want to waste any of my thread. And this is a question I always get, how much thread? don't cut too much, like cut 1.5 yards.
Yeah.
At the most,
Because it's
2 yards.
easy to...
You can just fake it and add a thread.
add a thread. And you notice, you guys, see how Janice just, when she looped through her stopper bead, she just came around. She'll take this off later.
Yeah.
So that's just keeping your
Yeah,
beads on track. So yeah, work with enough thread so that you're comfortable. You know, I have a tendency to want to cut a mile of thread, and that's not always such a great idea. That I'm reeling off my thread right now and cutting a mile. So I'm going to try and curtail my thread.
So
My
you
thread
want
use.
for 2-drop, excuse me, for 2-drop peyote, you want to have an even amount.
Right, an even number.
For 3-drop peyote, you want an odd amount. You want it in 3s because you have to go up through 3 beads and then down through 3 beads. I didn't measure how long any of these were going to be. I just said I'm going to do it until I like it.
So this one that I've got here, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 beads is what you started with.
Yes.
But you're not going to start with 24 because those are bigger.
8. No, and I'm using the tiniest little needle, which is 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see how many we have. Where's that little awl? You're bogarting
I
the
know.
awls.
I have 2 awls.
2, 4,
I do.
6.
There you go.
8, 10.
All the alls.
Okay, I'll count again.
All y'all.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I have on 12 beads. You bring them down to your stopper bead. And I'm just visually saying that's how long I want this section to be.
So Janice, let's make sure, let's get it
Am I
up just
in?
a, here.
Okay.
Let's just move that up. There we go. That's
Okay.
good. We can get that a little bit.
I didn't do anything but eyeball it. So I'm saying I want my pouch to be about, you know, this wide or whatever it's going to, you know, that little fold over. Then all I do is I put on 2 beads. And now I'm going to skip 2 beads. 1, 2, and then I'm going to go through 2 beads.
So 2-drop peyote is just the same
And
as
then I just
regular
put my
peyote.
finger over it.
Let's make sure that we can.
You can see
See
it?
it,
Okay, so I won't put my finger over it. So here's the last 2 beads of the first row. I came around, I skipped those, and I came through the second.
The second. And if they flip like Janice's has, it doesn't really make any difference.
No.
But she's just going to tighten it. And remember, with the peyote stitch, or with any seed bead stitch, it's like the first 3 or 4 setup rows.
Yeah.
You just have to get through that.
Yeah, so I kind of usually hold my thumb down. So I'm going to now put 2 more on. And honestly, I didn't think about, was it upside down, was it right side up? I didn't look for bad beads. I didn't do a volcano.
You just stitched.
I am the newest person on the block with peyote, and I say to everybody out there, if I can do this, you can do this. Whoops.
And see how Janice is just kind of going along, and when she comes to the end, especially with these beads that have large holes, she's going to kind of tighten everything up so her tension is right.
Yeah, and then I'll figure out, okay, what's in the second row, what's in the top row.
But just get the beads on there first.
But
and
I'm
then
very,
you can see.
very casual about my peyote. I don't...
You're a casual peyote.
I'm a totally casual peyote. So I have to just hold
Janice,
this
you
down.
want to see where you are here? So we really want to make sure that you're in the shot there.
Okay.
There we go. That looks
Totally
good.
be in the shot.
Totally be in the now, JP.
Be in the now. Okay. So this is where I am. Okay. That looks pretty good. It looks like I'm ready. I'm going to add, Kate, I think I'm ready, right? I'm going to add 2 here.
Yeah.
Come out here.
So
then
you're going to add your 2. So put on 2 beads next.
Yeah. See, I'm not worried about what was the first row and what was the second row. I'm not a
Because it all kind of evens itself out, right?
Yeah, it does. So then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to come through these 2 beads.
And I'll show you.
Little funny sharp needle.
Mm-hmm.
What are the sharps usually used for, Kate?
Well, we use them for bead embroidery, and I use them a lot also when I quilt, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a short needle and it's easy for me to control. So sometimes I just use them when I'm sewing, when I'm stitching too, because I like the control of a small needle.
Okay.
Now, as Janice is going along, Myra, I want you to kind of pick this up. I know it's going to be kind of tight and hard for people to see, but while Janice is building kind of her big piece there, you can see I've done my first row of peyote stitch here, and can you see how it totally looks wonky, right? It's totally funky, and so I'm just going to tighten it up with my tension like this with my thumb. Can you see that? I've put these 2 down, they're going down there, and I'm going to slide my next 2 in to come, I'm going to come back around. But notice how I have like 1 extra bead. I'm a little off right here. And so that's totally fine. What I can decide is, this is going to be, I'm going to have this be my width. I'm going to just take off my slider bead. That's the beauty about having a slider bead. And I can just take these beads off.
You know what I do? I cheat. I take my pliers and I crack the bead.
You could, but it's super easy to just slide off that slider bead. So see how here, now that I'm holding my tension, and you can see it with my 11/aughts, just like you're doing there, Janice. See how here's that little row. There's an up row, which is this, and now a down row. And that first set of beads that I put on, actually, when you pull it all into place, creates 3 rows of peyote. Here's the first one, row number 1, row number 2 in the middle there, and now row number 3. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put on row number 4. And the cool thing about 2-drop is it does go quickly because it's 2-drop, right?
This is like an afternoon project.
Yeah. So I'm going to put my needle, my 2 beads on, put my needle through the 2 up beads like this. And I'm using KO for this small one. And again, I'm taking a cue from Janice, and I'm using it doubled, okay? So I can, and I like the heft of this thread for sure, and I like the doubled over heft. So there's my
And you want to make
one.
sure you go through the top of the bead hole,
Right.
so you don't split your threads.
Split your threads, exactly.
Yeah.
So see how as the second, or the 4th row actually of the 2 drops are going on, when you do a 2-drop, it's not quite as defined. Okay, so it's a little more difficult for you to see. I'm going to lay this one in, then I'll do my last one, and then you know what I'm going to do, you guys, so you can really see this, is I'm going to switch colors so you can see where that 2nd row is going to lay in. So here's mine, you can see, and there it is, and you can see they look exactly the same. It's exactly the same technique.
2 down, 2 up,
2 down, 2 up, exactly.
2 down, 2 up. And I didn't worry about, was that in my 1st row or my 2nd row? I just grabbed whatever the 2 beads that were at the bottom,
there.
and there you go.
So I'm going to mix in some of these terracotta. It's the 11-1236.
Okay.
This matte terracotta. So you guys can really see how I'm going to lay in those 2 beads. Can you see me okay, Myra? So here's these. So here's my 2 beads. See how those are my 2 down beads? The 2 up beads are just sticking right up there, right? So I just want to, lay those in. Someone was saying that it was hard. Yeah, it was hard to see the comments. Yeah, Renee, you can just, I think if you swipe left, you either swipe left or swipe right, you can hide the comments so you can see. There's a way to do that. Also, I think if you click on it and take it into its own page, the comments either, I think, appear like either below or to the side, depending on what device you're watching it on. So see how, you guys, I'm adding the terracotta, and see it just goes, there's a little gap that needs to be filled there. So you just go through those two, and the terracotta is filling the gap, right?
You know, my favorite part of it is
Finishing.
no, is this side. I
I love
that
I love the
looking
way
at
the side looks.
thread.
I agree. I think it looks good. Okay. And then I want to make sure that I'm catching the right two. So there are those two. Oh, so remember, with 2 drop, you put on 2, you stitch through 2.
And you
put
can
on
also do
2.
1 drop.
Yeah, you could. You could do this as a single drop
Yeah,
peyote.
you just skip a bead, add a bead.
But the cool thing about this is, I think that the 2 drop, you can see there's my line of beads. You can, the way that this 2 drop looks, I think it really speaks to kind of the textile experience of the O beads, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think this would make a totally cool cuff. Are we
Yes.
close enough together, Myra, that we can,
Yes.
that people are getting us? Did you get the thumbs up from Brandwin? Just Brandwin's busy filling everyone's orders and keeping an eye on Myra.
Cindy
we
says she
multitask.
likes the look of the 2 drop.
Yeah,
Looks organic.
Thank you, Cindy.
it does look organic. And see how
Cindy, my check is in the mail.
Right.
Thank you. I'm paying you for all the nice things
you're
you say.
$5 after the
Yeah.
show. That's what I always say. But see how, again, I also am just bringing this in. Now I'm doing this with the mustard colored ones.
Uh-huh.
I'm really being very conscious about my tension. Now, you guys, I want you to stop here for just a second. Janice, keep holding the way you were doing.
Oh.
Notice how when Janice stitches, Janice is stitching towards herself.
Yeah.
Can you see that? The way that I'm stitching away from myself. There's
Oh.
really no right answer to it. This, especially with seed bead work, I always say, you know what I like to say, you do you. And it's
Yeah.
really important. I'm a flipper. I like to stitch away from me. So that's what I do.
Well,
I stitch a
flip,
line
but
and
then
I flip.
Then I flip when I'm done with the row, and then I continue to stitch towards me.
Mm-hmm.
So like right
I
now,
like, yep.
I'm going to flip, and now I'm going to add and go towards me.
Yeah. Yep, I like going away.
It could be age, you know, that my eyes, I need to see better.
Well, I don't know. I think everybody has their own beading habits.
Really?
But see how when you're doing this with multiple colors,
so
this
good.
2 drop, see how we're starting, it almost looks like a little, I don't know, like the Kaleem rugs, or, you know,
Yeah.
it has kind of an interesting, and you could break up and do different color patterns with these 2 drops, right?
You can do anything with it.
And you could do like one of each color, so you could create some interesting patterns with
at
this
mine.
2 drop.
Look at it.
Look at, it's really coming along.
Yeah.
And it would make a great, just simple cuff like that. Now, Janice, if I'm getting antsy and
Yeah.
I am ready
To add some O beads?
to add some O beads, I'm going to make one more, I'm going to do one more quick row of the mustard colored.
So as I am a peyote stitch expert,
Mm-hmm.
I
Tell
can
me-
tell you
Tell me what
that
you did.
you could add O beads now and then go back and add to lengthen this
My little
later
bail.
in
Mhm.
the other direction. You just add
Right.
a thread,
Add a
go-
thread.
do the zigzag in the middle,
Mhm.
come out at the end, and then just start, you know, going
Yep.
from the other side.
You know what I was thinking? I
What were you thinking?
just had an epiphany.
What?
Bear with me, JP.
Okay.
While I wait for it, you guys. Just you wait.
What are you gonna
Just
do? Do you want me to cut some?
I don't.
No, you don't want me to do
I want to
anything.
keep everyone on tenterhooks.
Okay.
Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to weave my... This may all end in tears. It may be wrong. but just, can you get it, Myra? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Can I get this in there?
You should.
I just had a flash of inspiration. If this goes here,
then you're gonna,
I'm going to catch it here.
yeah. What are you doing?
Where's my O bead? I want this copper.
Yeah.
Lynn says your beads look like Indian corn.
They do kind of. They kind of have that kind of Indian corn kind of feel. I want to get my needle into position so it's on the side. Of course, I'm so excited that I tied a little knot in my KO.
It wasn't in position to put the O beads on that?
No, just you wait.
Okay.
It's something, it's never been done before.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I'm going to get my O bead and I'm going to stitch it on the end like it's a little jump ring. So it's flat.
Oh.
So I don't have to fold over. Now in the center of that, Janice, I could wire wrap to connect a chain. I could get another jump ring and connect a chain or something, but instead of having a fold over bail,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
could have
yeah.
this little ring as a connection.
Yes. Yes, you
And
could.
see, I'm going to go over several times. What do you guys think of them O bead apples? Right, I don't want to fill it too much with thread, but
Are you going to be able to go through again?
yeah, I think so. These holes are pretty big,
Yeah.
even with a doubled thread.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so see how, let me lay it out flat so everybody can see it. See how I can come in now, and I could connect, even if it wants to go to the side, that's fine.
But it won't when you connect it to something.
Well, I'll wire wrap to this
Yeah.
or whatever,
And then
but
it'll
that's a
lay,
way.
But then it'll lay flat.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Just a little thought, just a
Yeah.
little idea.
Very cool.
But it's just, you know, I don't know.
I
You
love
could just
it.
stitch it in there.
You could also just add it as decoration
You
all the way
could
going
along
down
the sides. It would be cool.
You know, just,
It would be really
Yeah.
cool. Let me see if I can get this through. I'm going to skip it and go here, and then I'm going to get myself into position for O beads.
okay, well,
You're going to talk me through it, right?
yeah, you were in position.
I was.
All you needed to
I was
do
so excited.
was go through the,
I'm going to put on some O beads, right?
yes.
Let me get this a little closer to my eyes, Myra, so I can see.
I guess what I could do is I could demo on this,
Sure,
adding
let's try
O
it.
beads and see how many I need. But what I'm going to do, and I'll use these.
Let me get this a little closer to me, and I can get my needle back into position.
So some of them are thinner than other beads. So your copper ones, Kate,
are a little
have
thicker.
a really,
Mhm.
you know, a very nice heavy coating, which is really good because this particular coating, this pastel
There we go.
antique copper, yeah,
Now I'm ready.
yeah, is needs to be a little heavier.
Mhm.
And this is where it was just coated on the one side,
So it
so
was
it's
a
going
little
to be
thinner.
thinner. So you want to put on
So you did 2, is that right?
2 with the 11/aughts, yes.
Okay. So I'm
Um,
putting on 2, pretending it's the seed bead,
Right, and then just go through those 2
And go
down
through the up
beads.
bead. Yeah, the up bead.
The up bead, you call it.
And
okay.
then these O beads are going to sit in the space created
Right,
by the down bead. So
Right.
then you just kind of want to coax them into position. So there it is. Now see, there's my hole where these terracotta beads
Right.
are. So I'm just going to get my my O bead. Come here, O bead. Come on now. There we go. And go through and tighten it up.
right. So if you had an O bead that had 2 different colored coatings,
Mm-hmm.
my recommendation is string them on with the coating in the same direction. So that when
So they kind of show.
yeah, they show.
But you don't have
You don't
to.
have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to. So for me, we have not done anything with the 6/aughts. So I'm going to see how many O beads I need Now mine is a little thinner, this B-Trowel AB.
Mm-hmm.
That's too many O beads. Let's take that off. Let's look at how, can you
This is
get
really
that?
fun.
Myra, can you see this here? Okay,
Yeah.
can we come in a little closer? Get it. Oh, good.
I'm
Okay,
gonna let
that's
you
good.
stitch that on.
So
I'm gonna
that
finish
is
this row.
about, I'm looking at 1, 2, 4 O beads.
To make up that space.
Right, so I put on the 4 O beads, and then I'm going to go through, what do you call it, the up beads?
Mm-hmm. The ones
The
that are
up
sticking
beads.
up, because the O beads are in the down part where they're sitting down.
Right, right. So let me just get these
Dorothy said some metallic beads would look nice.
metallic,
Yeah, metallics
yes.
would look really nice with
Yes.
this for sure.
Let me get,
And so see what we've got here, you guys. I've completed my little 11-aught row too, and you
Yeah.
can see how those are sitting right in there.
yeah.
Now see, when Janice comes through, notice how the difference in the width of these 6-aughts versus the width of these 11-aughts. When Janice comes in and does her second row of O beads, it's going to come around. There might be a little more displacement because there's less room like in here for the O bead to sit, but that's perfectly fine. It's going to right itself a little bit. It's going to right itself a little bit as you go through. And Janice, people are counting. You
I
counted
did
correctly.
5.
You did 5.
Yeah, thank
That means
you.
that everybody's watching your
Yeah.
every move like a hawk.
Yeah, so it
Like
wasn't
Alfie
4.
for his dinner.
It wasn't 4, it was 5.
So I'm going to go ahead and now put on 2. So see, there's my little open space, my down bead.
Right.
My up bead is now the O bead, so I'm going to go right through that O bead, go through, and there's my first my first pair of O beads for the peyote. Now I'll just send it through this other O bead. Couldn't be faster.
It's
And
so fun.
Yeah, I really like the doubled thread for this because it is a little heftier. And I like a little more heft to my thread underneath. But see, I'm going to put on those 2, get those on there, and slide them on. And then always at the very end of my row when I'm peyote stitching, that's when there you go, Myra, am I in there? That's when I can kind of come in and tighten everything up to make sure that my tension is even. So you can see here's my up row, my down row, just like this. And we don't want to tighten it too much because we don't want it to squeeze in. Things will kind of right themselves as you continue to go through. Okay? So I'm going to do my next row.
See, I've started my second row. Look how fun that is.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Looks great, Janice.
I love this. I could do
They're
this.
so easy and fast to do. And again, so there's my next. Sometimes when you put on that first grouping, see how I put on my first grouping and it kind of pulls this away? All I do is I kind of pull back on that bead.
Yeah.
I pinch it together in my fingers and then tighten it up to tighten up that tension.
Right.
But you know, you guys, again, these are only beads. If you have a false start or 2, it's not the end of the world, right? You'll just set it aside. What I like to do is I like to not cut up my mistakes or what I perceive as mistakes. I like to set them aside and then I can see what I'm doing differently. Then you can always cut it up a little bit later.
If we looked at these samples I made, there would be so many mistakes that everyone would see. So I say,
Well,
live
bead
with
bumps.
it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
They
Look at how
really-
nice that looks with
Look
the
how
big.
fun.
Yeah. You can even make it a little bit bigger, Myra.
Janice, Cindy is asking if you're using micro.
I'm using micro Ceylon, yes. Thank you, Cindy.
And doubled.
And doubled, yeah.
And so see,
it
we can
won't
come
fit
around
with the
here.
size 10 seed bead
No.
needle, but it will work with the size 10
With the
sharp.
sharps, yeah. Because the eye's a little bit bigger. So can you see how this is starting? I'll lay it there. It's starting to kind of get that textile look
Yeah.
to it. And look at how, So let me say, maybe I did 3 rows. I'm going to do maybe 1 more row of these, and then I'm going to throw in I'm going to throw in another twist, Janice.
Okay, that's why I flew 3,000 miles.
For me to throw in a twist.
You could throw in a twist.
Let's get a little closer here. I'm going to throw in a twist. Are we in a good space there, Myra?
Can you see us?
Yep. We need to stay where we are, Janice.
You know, I forget what I was doing a minute ago.
Well, we're just
Okay.
making it all happen. I'm going to put in 1 more row. Almost
Boy,
there.
I could just eat these O beads. They're so delicious.
I know, they are really, and we have so many, I don't know, do we have 20?
22.
22, says she who wrote the copy.
Yes.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4,
There we
5.
go. So here's my last one, okay? Here's my 4th row. Now, I really, like I said before, I really like how this kind of is having a textile look to it. So I'm going to flip this over. This first row, when I ended it down there, I ended it, or I had 2 rows of the terracotta. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to 11/0
Oh,
for my next row.
okay.
Do you
I'm
think
just
it
gonna
needs
see what
to
happens.
be doubled using 11?
Well, it doesn't need to be doubled with the using the 11/0. You could certainly do it single with the KO. But since we kind of go back and forth between the O beads and the 11/0, it certainly doesn't hurt to have it doubled.
I did it double just because I like it doubled.
Yeah, you like a little more thread.
I
have
like
it be
to
more
feel
thread
the-
forward.
Yeah, I like to
I do
feel that
too.
it's a little solid.
I do too.
And so for me, it was just like if I can use it double and it'll go through and I can weave back through a few times, then I'm happy. I just like the feel of the double.
Now, my thread is getting dangerously short, so before
Yes.
I would go and I would add another row of these mustard ones, I need to add thread.
Okay. Well, that's a
So
good thing
everyone,
to
everyone just relax, okay? Chillax for a minute. Oh, good, Andrea, you and I have the same idea. I love it.
do. What's your idea?
She said she wanted to add 11/0 too.
Oh.
So, Janice, getting that. I'll be off camera for the second, but
Okay,
make sure you're
so
in. We can
am
also,
I in
Myra,
camera?
We're really tight, so we can actually come in a little bit bigger is all good. I'm going to get some thread, and I want everybody to take a deep cleansing breath out there, okay? Everybody just chill.
We're fine, Kate.
Because people adding thread makes people,
Nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we're just gonna add some thread together, okay?
Okay, and while you do that, I'm just going to,
You're just gonna keep peyoteing.
yeah, because it's like,
Just keep stitching.
honestly, doing peyote with O beads is like a drug. I feel like
Literally.
like it's a narcotic. Like I can
Very
just go-
calming.
very calming. So you're waxing your
So
thread.
I am a heavy waxer, and I like what wax does to the KO thread. Okay,
We didn't
So,
wax to begin with.
I
and
did.
When I did. Oh, you
I
did.
did wax. I did.
forgot, see.
I just jumped in and waxed, and I don't know if I mentioned it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this needle on. Okay, I'm going to leave that needle there. Now, I'm going to get another needle, and
Okay.
this is a.
Can I move this needle? Oh
No,
no.
no,
It's, oh,
no.
I'm sorry. It's attached.
It's
still.
attached. I'm gonna
Oh.
and my piece is on the floor. Bam.
Kate.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Helen asked if you can put a bead fringe hanging off the O beads.
For 100%,
Yes,
Helen.
yes.
100%.
Yes.
It's a great idea.
And you could do an O bead at the bottom of the
Yeah,
fringe
of the fringe,
before
it
that
looked
little
beautiful.
tricot.
Mm-hmm. Pico.
Pico.
I use my thread snips to snip a nice straight across end on my KO. Now it's hard to see because this thread is kind of light colored, and it's hard to see up against my skin, but I'm going to pull it just right next to my thumbnail, and I'm going to needle the thread by pushing the eye of the needle on that thread, just like so, and then pulling it through. Okay? Whoops, I split my thread just slightly, so there we go. It's in there. Okay? So since I doubled this over, I'm going to double it again. Now I'm going to choose a space. So Myra, you can kind of focus on me is fine.
I thought you might want to focus on Kate.
Focus.
Yeah, I'll move
No,
out.
you're good. You're good. I'm going to come back in here and add it, because what I want to do is I want to end this thread, or, you know, have this thread come out where this thread ends. So I'm going to start where these 11/0 are. And I'm just going to pick a space, any space, doesn't matter. I'm going to come in, slide it through, make this kind of even. There we go. Slide it through until I've got a little bit of a tail there. See, it's just hanging out right there. That's it. Now I'm just going to weave, and I'm just going to kind of make a path. So I think I'm going to go forward one more set of beads, like this. And now it's still pulling, so I'm going to turn a corner. I'm going to turn a corner and come back 2 sets of beads, right? But maybe this time, instead of 2 sets, I'll go through 3. Right? No big deal. You're doing you. You're choosing your own adventure with these beads, and we're just going to make sure that my first needle isn't getting tangled there. Okay. Okay. Now it's time to jump up to those O beads. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go here. I'm going to go through 2 sets. I'm going to go through that one. I'm going to go down here. Just meander your needle. Walk it through. And I'm going to come in. And look, we're almost ready.
You're almost where you need to be.
Where I need to be. So I see that I'm just going to shoot this needle through these 2 sets of beads, here and here. That's it. Done. Right? So I'm going to come in, because this little bit of thread is bugging the heck out of me.
And it's really solid, and you didn't need a knot.
No,
you didn't
I'm going
need
to clip
glue.
that away. Now I need to get rid of this needle.
How are you going to do that?
I'm going to do the same way. I'm going to drop it down to the 2 below it. Trying not to catch this thread, so let me just make sure that I'm not catching my outer thread, or my new thread there.
Oh, look
so
at how you just did that.
I want to get that. There we go.
So it looked, you don't
So
notice
it's
it on the
smooth.
side, yeah.
So there we go. And then just decide where you want to go. Let's meander down, and let's get down to those 11/0 pretty quick. Let's go down here, but maybe that one was full of thread, so maybe I'll go to this one. And I'm just going to walk it back and forth, so I'll go down to this terracotta one. Again, no big deal. And I will just maybe go to here, and maybe I'll go through one more. Maybe I'll go through this one. So I keep reversing my direction. All right? Now, all we need to do, my darlings,
Give it a
cut.
snip.
Give it a snip.
Those
Call it
old
a
school
day.
thread snips are
Right?
this is their job in life.
It's all good. It's all good. Just you know,
Looks great.
just and you could, people are asking to use Fireline. Sure, you could definitely use Fireline. And again, you don't have to use a doubled thread. It's not that big of a deal, but you know, you decide what works for you. So now I'm ready with that short little intermission. I can come in and add my mustard row. And so I could, if I wanted to kind of create this kind of, I don't know, woven rug feel. I feel kind of looks like the rug I have in my living room, kind of, right? Kind of has that feel to it. It's a little bit of maybe a Southwest feel, a little bit of a Native American feel, a little bit of an East Asian feel. Kind of all of that rolled up into one. Let's see how I'm just adding those two and dropping them over the O bead. And the 11/0, since it's two of them, they kind of conform to the shape of the 11/0. I'm keeping my firm tension, but not overly tight so it gets warped or funky looking, right? So now we're going to, and we'll just reverse it and keep going. And I could match this that I have here, or just add 2 rows and more O beads, you know, whatever works. But you've got, Janice, your piece there with the bigger beads.
Yeah.
It works very nicely.
Right, and I've put on 3 rows now of the O beads, and you know, I just want to put on 100 rows of O beads because it just looks.
It looks delicious, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I could stop and start putting drops on.
Yeah. Do you want to show some drops on there?
Yeah.
What Christine is saying is that the O beads are kind of like the check hishi bead. It's exactly what they are.
Yes.
O beads are check hishi. That's for sure.
Yes. So we could do this with hishi.
You sure could with tiara hishi or our tribal hishi.
It would be super expensive, but you could do it with metal beads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
for sure.
If you use, Janice, just a small section of it,
Yeah.
it would be
No.
okay.
Then yeah.
This would be really killer mixed with little shadows and metal hishi.
Yes.
Right?
Could I have the snips?
Yeah, you sure can.
I want to cut
the beads that I am using the Helen, the O beads in the copper, and then I am using the 11 4456. That's the hawthorn color, and then I threw in, because they were on the table, this terracotta, the 11-1236, and you can find all of the listings for all 3 of these projects, you guys. If you go right, especially if you're new to us, if you go right to beadshop.com, and right on the top of our homepage, there's kind of a little header bar there. And if you click on FB Live in the header bar, it's going to take you to where all of the project pages for our Facebook Live broadcasts live. Okay? And you just click on the one you like, a materials list will come up, the sample photo will come up, the video will come up, you'll see it all there. And also, I wanted to remind you, a lot of you already use them, but the episode notes for each episode, they are posted on the Monday after the broadcast. It's really the synopsis of the kind of the cliff notes of what happened in the broadcast. I know a lot of you just really mostly read those episode notes and then go from there. So you've got some drops on there, JP.
I do, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to do just 1 drop or I want to try doing 2 drops.
What did you do on the sample? Where can we see what you did on the sample a little bit?
On
Does
the
it
sample,
show?
because it's less beads, I only used 1, and then I went down and did a 2nd row. So there's a 1st row, and you can sort of see that there is a 2nd row down here, so I just went 1. I think I'm going to try 2 at a
to see what it
time.
looks like.
Yeah, and see if they fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have enough drops. So I'm just going to, just like I would add, and I'm using the denim drops, which if you notice, there's some that are transparent, some that are kind of a Picasso finish. So I'm just going to mix them up, and I'm going to put on 2, just any 2. I'm not going to think about it, on this little short needle. Then I'm going to go through this down, the down or the up.
That's the up bead.
That's the up. I'm going through the up. And I'm just going to see, how does this look?
looks pretty darn good, I think.
I think so too, but I have to tighten my thread from the previous row.
The thing with the drops, whenever you make a transition between different beads as you're peyoteing, and someday, you guys, I'm going to do for you my Freeform Peyote, which is my most favorite. You remember, Janice, when I would make those Freeform Peyote stitch around these wood beads? We have our wood beads for them. I just need to do it for you guys. And
I think the two looks good.
yeah, and it's literally just kind of like Janice is doing here, kind of measuring, kind of seeing what fits in the pocket, you know, what fits where.
Faye says she loves the innovation.
Oh, thank you, Faye.
That's really nice. Innovate, innovate.
That's right.
Well, we get a lot of our ideas from you out there. You know, all the different things you ask for, the different things you create. It's a community, and we're... Okay, enough of the speeches, Janice. Okay, so I'm going to see how...
That's okay, JP.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the speech.
So you want to try and make sure that these threads are not twisted. It's easy to loop around one of your teardrops, so you just kind of try to keep it as even as possible. And look how fun that looks, Kate.
Yeah, it looks really nice. And I want to share with you guys, I did a little bit of an oops, so I want to show you how I'm doing this. So I started and I thought, oh, I wanted one final row of mustard here, but I actually don't. I wanted a row of terracotta. So I'm pulling this out, and I want to show you how I pull out with this double strand, okay? What I do is I'm grabbing the beads themselves and pulling. Pull, 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 till I get to the eye of the needle to the bead hole, okay? Then I just take the eye of the needle back through and see how it slips out. So I'm not going point first to take beads out. I'm going eye first to take beads out. So see that there? There's the eye of the needle. Pull it back through the bead. And so I'm not worried about splitting those beads, because going through those beads needle point first, it would be just a tangled mess. And I don't want to cut it because it's doubled. So see that? It was easy enough for me to take out. So Tammy asked about the drops. Hey, Cara or Brandywin, would you guys pull some of the drops for us too, just so we could pull a few? I'm going to finish this with one terracotta row because I wanted to finish it kind of evenly, because I want to put another row of O beads in. And that, oh great, thank you, because we did get some new colors. Janice, why don't you talk about those new colors while I finish this up, and then we can kind of show how we end all of these.
We got in this lovely, my new favorite, this antique silver.
And you're using that one in the rain dance.
Yes, that
sample,
one is
right?
in, oh sorry, I don't mean to reach. That one is in this sample, and this is in Age of Antiquity. This is what this sample is.
Oh, Age of Antiquity, sorry.
Yeah.
Rain Dance is the blue one.
Rain Dance is the blue-green
Sorry.
Then we got in this wonderful kind of stripy blue, Montana blue, and
amber kind of.
oh boy, and don't ask me the name of it. And then we got in, don't ask me the name of it. And then we got in this other one, which is a Picasso finish with, because the beads don't always come in at the same time, and sometimes we have to replace.
That one's the yellow blue Venetian,
Yes.
Janice, and that other one is the tea green Picasso.
Okay. Don't you love them? And then this is the antique silver. So we have these drops in an assortment of colors.
And do you want to give a size?
We haven't
on what
used
those are?
these. We haven't used these
As much. We use them in that really fun Soft Flex earring project.
So these are
let's get into
about 6 in width and in length. They're 6 by 9.
yeah.
6 by 9 or 9.2.
And if you were wire wrapping with these, JP, you would use maybe probably a 24 gauge
Yes,
wire, right?
yes, exactly. And that's what we did when we wire wrapped these.
Yay!
Yay!
Janice
I just got news. Can you write yay? Thank you on it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Karen. So now I am I'm a homeowner.
Officially, it happened right on Facebook
Oh
Live.
my goodness.
Yay, congratulations,
Okay,
Janice.
everybody, you're invited over to my new condo
For a party.
for a party. I can't
Yay.
wait. I
That's
cannot
awesome.
wait. Oh
That's
my
awesome.
goodness, it's done.
I love how these things happen just
Oh.
live. That's great.
Okay, so now I'm going to put, can you see me in the,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's good.
So I'm going to put on the second row. Oh, that's so
I
exciting.
think they want to look closely at the
Oh, with that.
triangle
Oh,
one,
okay.
the
We'll
yellow, blue,
we'll
and
I'll
the
pull them back
purple.
one more
Okay.
time. Let's show Janice finishing those off, and then we'll pull them back in.
Pull what back in?
They want to see the drops even closer, Janice.
Oh. Oh, I thought, okay, let me get them.
Okay.
Let's
The
get
purple
one as
especially.
well.
The purple,
The
yes.
purple is this really beautiful kind of transparent,
Yes.
and you can see it. And what's it called, Cara? Purple pansy. And some are a little lighter, some are a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
This one and this Venetian are both transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's really hard to see, but can you see the little lines on the Venetian? It's really, they're so charming.
Yeah,
And then these, again, both opaque.
yeah.
There's a little bit of transparency to some of these, but mainly they're opaque.
I love when you get so many different colors
Mm-hmm.
on one strand. And I'm using here the denim drops, which
Mm-hmm.
is one of my favorites. So I'll move these.
Yep.
I can move these
Yep.
now. And now I'm going to, I've added 2 more. And you're going to do the very same thing with your 11/aughts or whatever you're doing. You just decide how many drops you want
Mm-hmm.
to fit into this little up and down.
Your little
And then I'm
space.
going to, and you have to make sure you can fit your thread, whatever thread you're using, through all your beads. So always do that before you start. Now I'm going to come through, and because these holes are a little funny, I'm going through, because the needle is a little short and straight, I'm going to go through 1 drop at a time. So I'm going to come in through the
Yeah, 'cause
first
it's hard
one.
to make that cross
Yeah, it's
between
hard.
the two.
And you want to make sure that your thread isn't looped around your drops.
Yeah.
And I can tighten this up, everyone, after I get through like the first 1 or 2. So I'm going to now go through the second. And then I'll want to add another. Then I have to add 2 more. And here I go. I'm coming through the second one. I don't want my thread to get twisted.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bummer, so I just go slowly.
Looks great.
See, I'm getting this nice kind of fun fringe. And then
The
I want
fun
to stop,
fringe.
get 2 more beads on.
And you could, I was thinking, Janice, if you did use just 1 drop and you had a little bit of thread showing, you could cover that thread with an 11/aught if you wanted
could,
to,
yeah.
right?
Yes, you could.
You know, could make, or you could kind of alternate it a little bit. You decide your fringe goals.
I'd love to see
Hashtag
the
fringe
fringe.
goals.
I'd love to see the fringe with the O bead at the bottom, the picot.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be. Like 2, yeah,
Like a
an
drop.
11/aught, an O bead, an 11/aught to create the picot.
Right, and now I've got my thread a little twisted, so I
Well,
have to,
Don't get your thread in a twist, Janice.
no, I have to just untwist this.
Untwist.
Helen asked, on the project necklace, are the O beads strung on the cord?
Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to
Yes,
look at this, Helen, right as we're finishing up. We're just going to finish and take a look at these, and then we're going to show how each one is attached. We've got just a few moments to do that here at the end of our broadcast.
I don't have to spend my time untangling this.
It's okay.
I could talk
think
about the projects.
People get it. So yeah, let's go to that one, JP.
Okay,
and
so
let's
I'm going to
take
put
each
this
one
aside.
of these. Yeah,
okay.
Let's put each one of these in the spotlight.
Okay.
And talk about how
what I did.
how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's take that back.
Okay.
And so see where you are on the screen there, just so you know what you're doing.
Okay.
I can move this over. There you go.
I want to make sure. I want everyone to see it right side up. So do
there we go.
I go this way?
You're good. Just
good.
in your
I just
cameras
suddenly
in your eye.
I just suddenly
Well,
forgot. I
let's
just
get
had a senior moment.
Well, it's because you just bought a house.
I know.
3,000 miles away.
Okay. Okay. So here's my pointer.
Here's your beautiful necklace.
So I'm going to start off by saying this is the one that inspired the whole project. And I started with my absolute favorite bead is the 4514, which is the Picasso Seafoam
green.
I could bathe in this bead. I love it in every size. It's my
You will
favorite.
in your new tub where you're going to fill it with beads.
And I love this vitrile matte AB O bead. So I started, and you know what? Could I just grab this little bit of paper?
You want this white sheet?
Yeah, so that I can just sketch for everyone what I did. So this, I made a section.
And you're kind of low, JP. So yeah, there we go. That's good.
I made a section of the peyote. This. And then this will get looped over. Then I started adding my O beads. And then I added my drops. 2 rows of drops. And then I came back in. I came back up through a couple of the drops, came back through the O beads, came back through the seed beads, and came out. Because if you don't have enough thread, you could do what Kate did, which is just end your drop thread in up through the O beads, and then start another thread back here. And what I did is, because this had, it's really like a zipper.
Right, you just
You
kind of
bring this down, and when you put this next to, here it is folded over, the zippers of the 2 sides just meet. So all I did is I went back through and I zippered it shut, which gave me
a nice little tube.
this nice little tube.
And Janice, how many O beads did you use? Was this one package?
No,
this and this?
This design is 2 packages
Okay.
because I needed the second for the
For the
strand.
stringing.
And then I love just, I said, oh, I'm going to put that on 1mm leather. I used the seafoam leather.
And for the closure, for the button closure, where did you start with the button, right?
I started.
You silk wrapped the button.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter which side you start on. You want to make sure that this loop, that whatever you make, is going to fit your button. So I'm going to show you the back on this. So all this is the leather. Here's the shank of the button. You go through that. You come back down. You lay your leather side by side.
And
then
you silk wrap that closed.
and we have a link on that.
Yeah, a great skill builder.
Right, and then I just took the Celadon Ceylon and I silk wrapped. And that was it. Then I think what I did is I strung the beads on, came around to this side.
You strung the beads on, stopping in the middle to string this on.
Then then I strung that through. Then I came back and then I made a loop. And then no glue, just straight, lay it down side by side, pinch it and silk wrap, and then cut the excess off.
Right.
That was this one.
Helen asked how many packages of O beads does it take to go over the leather?
It's about a package for the leather and a package for the fringe. I had a little bit left over, Helen. But this particular one, this vitrile AB, is a very thin slice, so you needed a little more. The other two samples only use one tube. But if you want to do this on leather or on a cord, you really should get yourself 2 packages.
So let's look really quickly, Janice,
Okay,
at
at
the
the
other
others.
two. Okay?
Okay.
So we can.
Okay. Oh,
That
sorry.
that's okay. That was the
Okay.
most difficult.
Yeah. So this one
One.
is a very similar. I just made the peyote longer with the O beads. I did the fringe of 3 rows of 1 bead each, and then I used the 5mm deer skin because it fit through nicely. And for the ending on this one, can you see that in the picture?
Yeah.
On the ending, I used the Jardin crimp end, and I just flat crimped the leather down. It's very secure. And then I used a jump ring to add chain
And you
and
use
a
the
swivel clasp.
And that swivel clasp, you guys, if you don't have a swivel, if you haven't used the swivel clasp, it's so good.
It's great. It's really sturdy. We also have it in a small size. And then I wire wrapped with 24 gauge wire some of the excess drops. We could have embellished I could have embellished all the way up. And that's how I made this one. I added this wonderful little slider just to give it like a little kind of, it made it feel artisan to add something unique. So that's that one.
And then the last
And
one.
the last one is the, where is...
It's right there. Oh no, it's right.
Where is the last one?
Where is it? I thought it was just here.
It was just here.
Where is it, you guys? Where did you see it go?
Where
Oh,
did-
it's right in
oh.
front of me.
Okay, okay.
There it is.
So this one
It's right
was,
in front of
was
me.
just a study in dark silver. I was inspired by the jet chrome O beads, by the 11190 nickel, and the antique silver drops. I just fell in love, and this is my favorite chain, the wheat chain.
I love the wheat.
I
You
use it
ladder
in
with it,
color
too.
study.
Yep,
I
you do.
used it in everything, and then we added this chain through. So as Kate said, it got a little rounder here, and then for the closure, I'm going to show you the 2 sizes of the swivel. We used the swivel in this, and then we just mentioned we used the small swivel, and then that's the large swivel. And then Kate, I sent it out to you because we needed
You
it for a
did.
photo shot, and you finished it with the Tiara Cast Jardin ring. You wire
I
wrapped
did.
it.
I thought it was a nice, it kind
Yeah.
of was a throwback to the Jardin crimp that you
Yeah.
used. And, you know, especially, I like to wear my hair up sometimes. And I like to make my fronts and my backs equally interesting.
Yes.
So I tried to add a little interest there.
My motto is that everyone is making jewelry for the museum, and when we go look
Yep.
at jewelry in the museum, we look at the back as well as the front. So everything has to be finished. You did a great job
Oh,
here.
thanks.
I love it.
Yeah, just wire wrap
Yeah.
through. And again, that's 24 gauge
Yep.
wire, I think.
Yep.
So I want to show you guys how I'm adding the drops onto this before we wrap it up. We have just a few minutes, and I wanted to show you how I'm dealing with this drop issue. Okay.
I like the way you added the 11/0 so you don't
Yeah.
mine you see the
Well,
thread.
it's okay. You know, again, sometimes your project, you want it to be a little thread forward, right? So I've added these 11/0, 11/0 drop, 11/0, and I did 1 row. Now, when I'm coming back, what I'm noticing is, see how I added the 2 11/0? It's making this kind of displace and come out here. But I don't know if you can
It's
really get in
fine.
here, Myra. You could, see that space in there? I came out from that 11/0. This space looks like the exact right size for just a drop. So I'm
Yeah.
going to try it. Just a drop
with no seed bead.
with no seed bead. I'm going to come back through under the O bead, through that 11/0, through the drop, through the 11/0 on the other side. And let's see what it looks like.
It's going to look great.
Okay. And I can kind of tighten it up, and it makes that one without the bead on it kind of kick a little bit, which I like. So I'm just going to keep going, and I'll finish it off.
Can we show them what it looks like without your hand there?
Yeah, let me move it. We will.
Okay.
There we go.
Doesn't it
I
look
wanna get it
good?
into position.
Here I'm telling
Into
you what to do
position.
on Facebook Live.
What's
That is a riot.
it's a Shonda.
A Shonda, yes.
We were.
Karen asked
I
for
was
one of the
working my-
samples. Did you fold over before the O beads at the end?
No, the end is always just straight, so there's no fold over. Right at the
end?
bottom. At the bottom.
At
Here.
the bottom.
No fold over.
No fold, no, yeah, there's no fold over, it's just straight drops, and then you weave back through your O beads.
Yeah, just like I'm doing here
Yeah.
with this one. So see, I'm almost to the end here, and then we'll wrap this show, your California show.
I
up,
know.
Janice. Well, you're
I
going to be
wanna
back.
here every week.
I know. Well, you just bought a house, so
I know.
you've got house things to do.
I know.
And copy to write.
I know, we have so many new products.
New things coming down the pike. But you
Right.
also, you're going to be out
Gonna be out
the
at the
next
beginning
day.
of December.
Yeah, and so we'll have Janice back
Right.
for some fun times then. So,
Yeah.
and you guys don't forget that we are going to be together all weekend, including Emily, on Facebook live from our bead retreat. So you will be seeing us there this weekend. Stay tuned to your newsletters, you guys. Not only for shipping notifications, because Drea has been putting notifications in there, but also if we know anything about mail delivery or anything for the hurricane, we'll
Yeah.
know. And so see, you can just like continue to add some kind of dancey, what I'm calling them
Yes.
dancey little drops like that, right? There we go.
It's so fun.
It's really fun. And then I could come back up here and I could stitch another ring on that side, and then I could wire wrap just like I did that component
the
even
yeah, the jardin.
that's here.
Yeah.
I could come in and I
Yeah.
could wire wrap a drop there and do some chain, or I could wire wrap this jardin like that.
You could
and some
also
chain.
bring leather through and then
I
silk
could,
wrap it.
I could. So
Endless
there's lots of
possibilities.
things, lots of possibilities that you can do
Yep.
this. So, and my mom just said Gwen will be there too. It is true. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Mama. I didn't mean to forget you. Of course, my mom is
Yes.
coming, and we are going to be having a great time. My mom is actually shopping for some of our goodies for our wine and cheese happy hour. We're doing that today. So
And we don't want to forget to show everyone your necklace
yes,
before we.
let's do that real quick.
Yeah.
Before we move things around, and then we'll sign off.
Yes.
So this is the piece people were asking about at the retreat. We're going to be. Whoops, it's got a little bit of Kate hair in
A
it.
little bit of Kate on it.
This is one of the pieces on Friday night during the retreat. We're going to be working with my special folded bead technique. It's kind of a fun metalsmithing technique without doing any metalsmithing, right? All cold work. And so this, we're using some thin gauge metal. We're going to be embellishing it with some beads, and so that's all of this cool stuff that we're going to be doing that Friday. And Janice, then on Saturday, and I should have brought Emily's piece out here too, but Emily is doing some really great
I'll go
wire
grab it.
components for you.
Yeah.
She's done some really great wire components, and with both of these necklaces, Janice created these kind of fun takes on integrating some of the stuff that we're going to share. I'm going to be teaching you how to make some clasps. We're going to make some jump rings, some spirals, things like that. And then what Janice did was she used, these are our new Angelite beads that we're going to be getting up on the website. So she showed how to integrate a piece that's knotted and then a piece that's just strung. And you can see these are some of the component parts that Emily has
Aren't
made
they gorgeous?
from her pieces.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of a fun, this is going to be Friday night, and then Saturday doing more wire working. And then on Sunday, what I call it is the magic of stringing with Janice. And we're going to be doing a lot of fun stringing, working with end tips, working with soft flex.
Knotting?
Knotting, all of that cool stuff. So that's what we've got going there. So
I expect Kendra to be my assistant.
That's right. Kendra's going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's that. So I think inevitably the hands on the clock say that it's a little after 12 our time.
I know.
So we're going to have to wrap it up. Do we have our little? Where's our signs
giveaway.
from Karen?
Our
They're
signs.
right on that side. So let's go ahead and let's move the camera around. Myra, I'm going to
Jinx,
hand
you
this
owe
to
me a
you.
root beer.
That's right. And we'll take this. Sorry, as I'm going to unlock the camera, and I'm going to pass it right to Myra here. And we'll go ahead and move that over. Jenny, you want to grab that boom over? Perfect. Alrighty.
Alrighty,
So
already.
we have a really fun
Giveaway.
we have a raffle today. Yes.
Oh, yes, a raffle.
And so today is, what is today?
September
Today's the 12th.
12th.
Wednesday, September 12th. So if you make an order of any size, it's now 12:08 p.m. here on the West Coast. If you make an order of any size between now and 1 p.m., a little after 1 o'clock today on the 12th, and you put in your, into the shipping notes, O beads, please. We're going to do a drawing tomorrow. Cara will do the drawing. We have 3 little giveaways, and they each have an assortment of O beads in them, and they are the Czech Republic O beads, the ones in the baggies. So we've got 3 of those to give away. So
and
3 of
5
you.
bags.
5 bags.
5.
5.
Cinco.
See?
You
And
owe me a root beer.
another one. Another root beer. And, of course, we always like to say, give you, so hold this sign, would you, JP?
Yep.
So again, today is the 12th of September, and we decided for this O-bead debut that we would put all of our Czech glass on sale, and that includes the O-beads, you guys. It also includes the drops. It includes all of our wonderful Czechoslovakian glass, and it's 25% off.
Nobody told me.
See? What a surprise. Maybe if you read your newsletter. Maybe.
I could read my newsletter, but nobody told me
No,
when you guys
a surprise.
decided. It's
Yeah.
a great giveaway.
Yeah, it's a good giveaway,
really
and it's a
good.
great offer. And that
And that
coupon,
includes the drops.
It does.
And it includes the rondelles
It
and
does.
the big hole.
yeah, see
and-
all that
and
stuff.
all the
English
English
cuts,
cuts.
yes, the melons. Melons, I'm
Third
looking at you.
root beer.
Third root beer. She's going to be root beer mad. So that coupon is good until midnight Pacific time tonight on 9/12/18. And if you're watching this on a broadcast, you guys, and you're watching this after the fact and you don't qualify for the giveaway or the coupon, not to worry. Go right to beadshop.com, and right there on the homepage is our newsletter sign up. And let me tell you, we do
Yes.
send out, we send out newsletters. That's how we communicate
Yeah.
with our customers. But we communicate wonderful things like sales and giveaways and
Photos of Alfie.
photos of Alfie, because I know so many of you were saying, Alfie,
He's not
he's
here.
actually at home. He's
Yeah.
at home today.
Yeah.
He's I don't know what he's doing.
And I
that
met
naughty
him
pants.
yesterday,
Yeah.
and he's as stuck up as you.
He
He is an aristocrat.
He
He'd
is
lay
a good
across
boy.
my computer like, "Oh, I'm here now. You
Yeah.
don't get to work." But he's
And
very sweet.
He's a good boy, and he's soft, very soft.
Oh,
Oh, he's a good boy.
elegant.
Yes.
He's graceful and elegant.
If you go to beadshop.com there and you haven't seen it, there's a great photo of Janice and Alfie together
Oh.
yesterday. It was real fun. So next week, you guys, we are taking a little Facebook hiatus because you know what's happening? I'm going on
Yes,
vacation.
vacation.
I can't
Yes.
believe it. I am actually going on a creative vacation where I am going to be studying some great metalsmithing techniques
And
with
you're
Charles
making a
Lutenbrand.
hammer.
I'm making some tools. I'm going to make tools.
I-
It's not going to be a hammer, but it's going to be some cool
Well,
tools.
we'll pretend you're making a
So,
hammer.
yeah.
Like,
I'm going to tell you guys all about it when I get back. So next week we are taking another Facebook hiatus, but don't you worry, we'll have 2 wonderful best ofs posted, and I'll be back the following week
Right.
to let you know how it was, and with a great fun project for all of us to make together. So vacation
yes.
for my birthday week
Yes,
is coming.
yes.
It's going to be good. So thanks you guys so much for everything. I'm going to just run down the last of these comments. I think we're all good, right? We're all good so far. Yes, Tammy Drennan. Tammy's coming with me. Belvedere at the Makery. Our friend Francesca Watson, who sometimes watches these. We're going to Francesca's wonderful studio in Belvedere, Texas, to take some classes. So
How
it's going to be really fun. Yeah.
Well, you're not to sign in. You're not to.
Oh, don't you
nothing.
worry.
You are
I am
off.
out. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's so hard to get
It's gonna
Kate
be
to
fun.
just even take a break.
Yes, so I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
So thank you as always. You know, we really appreciate all of your wonderful emails, your wonderful patience that you had with our last sale. But all of the sale orders have gone out, and we're going to zip through the rest of the orders
Yeah.
from the week, and you will have your product in your sweet little beating hands very soon. Janice, thank you so much. It was a
Oh.
great project. You did a great job. Myra and
Thank
Jenny
you.
behind the camera.
Everybody,
as always, was great. Brandwin, thanks for our little adjustments. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I will see you guys. We'll see you on Friday for maybe an abbreviated Free Tip Friday version. We're going to be packing the car and getting down to the retreat center. But we'll cook something up for you
Yeah.
for Free Tip Friday, okay? And we will see you Friday and this weekend from the bead retreat. I guess that's it.
That's it.
That's it. All right, you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.